Hello and welcome to my Time is Money presentation, where I will be showing my profit within my business I created. I created this equation to determine my profits of how my business would succeed, and within this equation I used my real data that I collected from my spreadsheet. I received my first calculation, which was what my profits were from the first day of completing my business. From one day, I was able to make negative $350.72. This really isn't a profit because it's a negative number, but due to the fact that my startup cost was so high, I still haven't broken even yet. That's why this number is negative. This next graph shows my profits from 1 week, and it's still in the negative range because the number is negative $153.60. At this point, I still wouldn't have broken even yet. At this point in time, after 64 hours of work, I was finally able to break even, and after this, I'm able to start making a profit. After a month of working, I'm able to make the profit of $585, but in comparison to a normal job of $2,400 a month, this doesn't have a stable income at the moment, or a successful income for that matter. After completing a years of work, I will be able to make the total of $10,072, but this total is a very big difference compared to the annual rate of a BC worker, which is about $57,600, which is an incredible difference compared to my outcome. I completed another analysis and another equation, inserting a different time variable. If I were to hand sew for this business for one day, I would make a total of $36.38, and I would already have broken even at this point, which is a big difference compared to the outcome in machine sewing. The next calculation I completed was the outcome of hand sewing for 1 month. From 1 month of hand sewing, the profit I received was $729, but in comparison to machine sewing income per month of $585, there is a clear difference. Within my graphing data, I was able to find the point where both of the hand sewing and machine sewing methods cross, and at this point, in the future, machine sewing will become more beneficial based on the time deduction. The annual rate I would receive if I were to use the hand sewing method would be $7,751. The yearly rate of hand sewing is less than machine sewing rate, which was $10,072. This is because the equation that I used to calculate this data also took track of time, and because machine sewing is faster, it eventually, in the long run, achieved more profit than hand sewing. Now, is this a successful business? In short term, no, because in comparison to the annual rate of $50,600 to my yearly rate of $10,072, there's a $40,000 difference, which definitely proves that the profit margins can be way higher, and this business, if it were to succeed, more money would definitely become a full-time, reliable business. But at this time, with all the calculations and data I received, this business is not a successful business. Within my business, I do use fabric as a material expense, and this fabric can come from factories which dispose of their excess fabric into the water, specifically ocean waters or nearby lakes or creeks, and this can definitely impact the water cycle. This can also lead to the aspect of bioaccumulation, and bioaccumulation harms the organisms that are in the water, and this happens by the pollutants collecting in the cells and tissues of that organism. This then leads to biomagnification because the pollutants in the tissue of an organism on the lower state of the food chain can cause a species that's higher on the food chain to consume that organism and the pollutants that are in their tissues. These factories also burn materials into the air. This impacts the carbon cycle because the carbon moves throughout the Earth's spheres, including carbon dioxide that travels from the atmosphere into the biospheres and repeats this process. This can also cause the carbon exchange to have remains of polluted substances throughout its cycle, and this can definitely harm the environment.